Namo Amitabha Buddha. You can recite Amitabha regardless of time, place, and all conditions. Namo Amitabha Buddha. Good. Let's move on to the next question, to the question in the message section. Hello, Master. In the unclean places, like toilets, we cannot recite the Buddha's name there, can we? Of course you can recite the Buddha's name there. I remember a poem by Cao Zi-Chin. Mean hovels and abandoned halls where courtiers once paid daily calls. Bleak haunts where weeds and willows scarcely thrive, where once were mirth and revelry alive. It means that the shabby room and the empty hall used to be filled with the ivory boards. And the places that had weeds, grasses, dead trees, and branches all over used to be a happy place for singing and dancing. When I saw this poem before, I added a line at the bottom of the poem. The dirty and smelly place was once a famous Buddhist monastery. It means that the place where is smelly and dirty now used to be a holy and well-known temple surrounded by wonderful fragrance. So any place will go through the formation, continuation, destruction, and void. The place where we build a toilet now was probably a monastery before. Therefore, when some people say that in the toilet we cannot recite the Buddha's name, or we cannot recite the Buddha's name here and there, if it is true, then we will have obstacles. There should be no obstacle to the Buddha recitation. Amitabha's light is unobstructed, which illuminates everywhere without obstacles. What about these people? In order to add on their own ideas, they produce obstacles. So there are some very important words for Master Shandao. Without asking length of time of one's practice, without asking the time, place, and all conditions, without asking one's offenses and blessings. If there are obstacles, then these words are not valid. Without asking means not to worry, not to ask, not to think, not to consider. But we ask these questions every day. It's not a Dharma obstacle. And it's not an obstacle of Amitabha's salvation. It's an obstacle that you find for yourself. You are seeking for obstacles. So our Venerable said that the bathrooms and toilets are also good for reciting the Buddha's name, because people could also die in these places too. And they all need Amitabha's salvation. So the Venerable said every time he went to the toilet and took a bath, he would recite the Buddha's name without saying aloud. Some people may feel that the environment of the toilet is not good. It seems they are blaspheming Buddha if they recite there. Then you just don't recite aloud. Therefore, when the environment is not good, you can recite the name silently. If the magnetic field is not good, shouldn't you recite even more? Isn't that right? For example, if the magnetic field of this place is not clean enough, then you should recite the Buddha's name to purify this magnetic field. So you can recite the Buddha's name anywhere. I once saw a very interesting painting which depicted Master Honen reciting the Buddha's name in the toilet. This painting is from the picture book of Master Honen, which is a picture book about the life of Master Honen. There is a very precious painting which depicts the appearance of Master Honen in the toilet. It is difficult for us to imagine that he was reciting the Buddha's name in the toilet. Then one of his disciples admonished him, "Venerable, how can you recite the Buddha's name in the toilet? The toilet is dirty." Then Master Honen answered him with a song. "If there is something wrong with impure Buddha recitation, please arrest me and take me to the land of Amitabha Buddha." That is to say, if reciting the Buddha's name in the toilet is a sin, please arrest me and take me to the Pure Land right away. It's very humorous, and it's also Master Honen's attitude towards Buddha recitation. We mortals always find obstacles for ourselves. This place is a toilet. That place is not a good environment, etc. For the Buddha, there is no place is bad. And there is no place is good. Only we mortals will distinguish between good, bad, beautiful, ugly, and so on. Speaking of unclean, our human body is the most unclean. We're actually the shit-making machine. Which of the things we eat and drink is clean? That's why the sutra says that the same water may be viewed in 4 ways. For example, when the mortal sees a pool of water, it is a pool of water. But in the eyes of hungry goats, they see a pool of pus and blood. The hungry ghosts cannot hear the word river or water for a long time because of hunger and thirst. Once they see the river, they want to drink. But when they quickly come to the shore, what do they see are all pus and blood, so they cannot drink. They do not want to drink anymore. For the fish in the water, they see the water as a big house made of crystal, because water is the home for the fish. Then the celestial beings see the water like crystal. So this is called the same water may be viewed in 4 ways. All phenomena arise from cause and condition. When the realm is different, what you see is differently. So we should not make any distinction. You can recite the Buddha's name anywhere. As long as you are reciting the Buddha's name, it is a good place. Everywhere is a way place for Buddhist reciters. Moreover, there is a saying in the sutra, throughout a great chiliocosm, there is not a single spot tiny as a mustard seed where the Buddha failed to sacrifice his body and life. The space covered by toilet was once covered by the Buddha's skin. There is not a single place in the great chiliocosm that is not covered by the skin offered by the Buddha. So you can recite the Buddha's name anywhere. As Master Honen also said, the causes of death are infinite, because the infinite causes of death, one may probably not die in a way as one expected. There are people who suddenly die in the streets or alleys, or who die in the toilets. Someone may suddenly die of a cerebral hemorrhage in the toilet, and so on. Some people are hacked to death by a knife. Some die in a fire. Some die from drowning. But no matter how you die, as long as you recite the Buddha's name and aspire to be reborn in the Pure Land, no matter where you are, when you are dying, Amitabha Buddha will come to meet you. When you eat, you may also choke to death. So the Master Honen said that people may also be choked to death while eating. We should chew Namo Amitabha Buddha. Drink Namo Amitabha Buddha. We should think of Buddha and recite the Buddha's name all the time. Even before we are falling asleep, we recite Amitabha's name 10 times. Do not forget that this sleep may be eternity sleep. So since Master Honen said to recite the Buddha's name for 10 times before sleeping, when we go to sleep, we also have to recite the Buddha's name first. Like me, every time I go to sleep, I turn on the chanting machine and turn down the sound. So even though I'm asleep, I'm still listening to the chanting, which my lay consciousness also receives it. So just like this, Master Honen said that we should integrate our reciting into our daily life. No matter when and where we are, we should think of Buddha. So let's not have such barriers that we can't recite the Buddha's name in this place or in that place. As long as we are reciting the Buddha's name, everywhere is the good place. Good. Namo Amitabha Buddha.